Hey there, TLC Tribe. It's Veronica Jones at the Life Coaching Co. here. And today, my great pleasure is welcoming my special guest, the lovely Dannielle. She's a helicopter pilot. She's also an online multi-level marketer. She's a cattle, horse, and dog lover, and she's based in Northwest Queensland. And Dannielle contacted me about just over 6 months ago now when she decided to get into coaching. And Dannielle is joining us today because she wanted to make some changes in her life. She went through a coaching program with me and she decided, hey, I'll come online with you. I'll give you a sneak peek behind the scenes into what I experienced. And so she's very generously coming online today to not only just show us the what she experienced in terms of the results of coaching, but what she's continued to generate. So it really is my great pleasure to welcome Dannielle today. So let's get to it. Dannielle, it's been so long. It's lovely to have you. How are you?
Well, thank you, Veronica.
That's great. And thanks again for joining us. So I'd love to dive into this straight away with you, and we'll just get started, if you would, by maybe filling us in on how you got into dipping your toes into this journey of coaching with me.
So recently I experienced the loss of a very important family member and, always been brought up that, just bottle it up, deal with it. You don't have time. There's too much other stuff to go on to worry about, delving into your emotions. And it was probably about good 6 months after I lost my father that I actually hit a brick wall and everything I was doing wasn't working for me. And I just put it out to the universe that I needed to talk to someone to release these emotions, someone to give me guidance and tips and tricks and break every process down to actually show me where I can improve, show me how to actually, instead of bottling it up, to dissect it and move on from it. So once I put it out, the lovely Veronica's face popped up on Facebook and it just kept going and I'm like, okay, this is a sign. So I decided to jump on a discovery call with Veronica and have not looked back.
That's so great. I'm so glad that the universe brought me to you. It's wonderful. And as I just reflect back on your journey, to now, Dannielle, what a massive departure from when we first spoke. You were stuck in a rut in that time of life. You mentioned, the passing of your dad and how that affected you. You were really at this point of trying to really just transition to go forward. And, we're going to get into this today, but I know since then, you've crushed the fear, no holding back. So I guess from my perspective, I was just wondering at that time, what do you feel was the biggest challenge for you in just getting unstuck?
I guess it really come down to, being stuck in that rut. Being, brought up on the real sector side of things of life, it was always, things were just put to the side. Trying to actually, hit my emotions, hit my struggles head on and actually, take the time to break it down. So yeah, definitely, accepting that I need to, ask for help and, get that assistance to actually talk about those things. So that was probably one of the biggest things to get over was, taking that leap of faith and actually talking to someone instead of just going, oh, well, we just move on with life and deal with that another day.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that because so often we're told, try and just deal with it. And we're given these ideas that we should be able to do that. And yet reaching out, it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. That's how we all grow. And what I love about you is you're someone who's got this mentality of, look, I've got this one life, I've got my big dreams, I want to achieve. You're not afraid to reach out, which is incredible. And for you, I was wondering, what was the tipping point where you thought, right, that's it then, I am going to do this thing, I am going to get a coach?
The tipping point was I'd had a pretty tough day at work, flying and stuff like that. I had a few things that had went wrong and I'd actually second guessed my gut. And I am someone that always follows my gut instinct and I go with it. And this day I actually second guessed it. And I sat down and I talked to my partner and tried to dissect it and I just couldn't. And I actually had a massive sort of, emotional breakdown where, everything was just a tipping point. I'd just start crying and I couldn't get things in check. I couldn't handle my emotions. I started to second guess my ability and, what I could actually do for myself and my life. And that I really, I'm not someone that always, previous to this point of, the grief, ever actually second guessed myself, and I'd sort of felt I'd really lost my way. So that day was probably my tipping point where, the husband was like, just talk to me, which, bless him, he is good because he always talks to me and, helps me through things. But it was sort of, I needed to get someone from an outside perspective. So that's when I sort of realised, and I'd said to him, I think I need to talk to someone to give me those tools. And he had said, yes, I think it is time. I think this is the point where you need to ask for that help.
For sure. Oh, we got to love him. He was there. He was ready to go for it and still said, hey, you know what? I think there might be someone else who could help too. Great. Yes. And what I love about you also is you're someone who challenges convention. Like, yep, I'll reach out for help. Yep, I'll do this. I'll talk to my husband, even though it shows my vulnerable side. And, for viewers and listeners at home, they don't know, but you're a lady who is obviously a female helicopter pilot, and she was told, hey, it's going to take you years to get your pilot's license. You're like, no, I'll be doing this thing. You did it in 5 months. Boom. So I know you're someone who, makes changes for sure. We've seen that. We know that. But what I was wondering was, when you first contacted me, there'd been some time that had been lagging for you actually making those changes. And I wondered what was holding you back from making the changes you wanted in your life at that time.
I guess the fear of actually, recognizing that there was an issue. I'm one to stick my head in the sand and turn a blind eye at it. It was probably the fear of, the unknown. I've never been down this track. I've never, suffered such, grief like this before. So I think that was, my biggest struggle. And to get over that was, getting past that fear of the unknown.
Definitely. I mean, thanks for raising that. Generally, there are sort of 3 key elements that hold a lot of us back when we want to make some changes. Fear is one of them for sure, as well as doubt and uncertainty. And, when we're trapped in that position of fear, it's very difficult without the right mindset tools and techniques and strategies to get us out of that position, because we get ourselves in that sort of a prison of fear. And you could have opted to keep pushing, and go the solo route just to figure out how to get unstuck. And you chose to equip yourself with a coach. And I'm so glad you did, because we got to meet, which was awesome. For you, though, what was it about coaching that was the right option for you? Because you could have gone down other routes. You could have gone therapy. You could have gone, group therapy, whatever it might be. What was your reason behind coaching for you?
I guess it sort of comes back to putting it out to the universe. I'd looked at a few different options. I'd talked to a few people that I know that had done coaching versus counselling, and I just felt the path for me and what I needed was more in the coaching side of things than going to a counsellor or anyone like that, because I knew it was more, more appealing to me. It felt right for me. And probably the biggest thing, once I'd done a little bit of research, once your lovely face had popped up, the actual tools that you were offering to break down and decipher and work through things, that was probably the biggest tipping point there. Was, it just felt right for me. It was the path that I needed to take.
Yeah, great. As I said, I'm so glad you did. And I think for many of us, when we're stuck, as you mentioned, with the fear and so on, we get into this position of thinking too, like, oh, well, maybe I just need to control everything then, right? Like, that's how I'm going to get stuck. If I control this, I'm sure I'll be able to, work this other piece out. I'll just control. And then maybe we get worried. We might even get superstitious, right? And then we can really fall into this black hole of fear and negativity because our thoughts start spiraling. Yet you had the presence of mind to say, you know what, stuff it. Stuff this. I'm here. I'm in this messy middle and I'm going to get this coach. And these tools feel right. This is what I'm going to do. And I know, having partnered with you in coaching, that the mindset piece is obviously a critical piece in getting unstuck. So I wondered, from a mindset perspective, what did you notice changing as you were experiencing coaching and going through this journey with me?
Would be the confidence back in myself. I was more getting back to the groove that I'm normally used to, I didn't have that self-doubt. I didn't, second guess my gut, and just feeling so much better in myself by having those tools behind me. Probably the biggest notice was when the husband come back and said, "You seem a lot more confident in yourself. You're not doubting yourself."
That's great. Love that. And how did you feel when he said that?
Very good, very
Yeah.
good. Which was, I had felt in myself that I was starting to get a little bit confident, but I just didn't know where I was at that point in time. So actually having someone that is close, come back and say, "Look, the life coaching you're doing with Veronica has really massively improved. I can see it from my point of view, how you're sort of handling situations a lot better, that, you're not, letting things waver. You actually can hit things full on, and, you might get knocked back a peg or two, but, you're already looking for that ladder to get out and, get back to running back to normal."
Amazing. I love that observation. We'll have to get him in for some time for a Q&A. No, in terms, in terms of the context of what you're sharing there, the transformations were happening left, right, and center, confidence, the actions you were taking, and so on. You really were harnessing the power of mindset. You're getting stuck into it with me. I remember you getting right into your gratitude as well. I suppose from your perspective, and the audience at home too, you actually started this transformation then of even thinking, what's next in my career? Because the mindset had really shifted to that next level. So perhaps you could fill us in then, what you started noticing in terms of getting this side hustle off the ground that you decided to do, as well as maybe how it was improving your relationships.
Definitely gave me a lot more confidence. Getting that mindset in the right way, is a big, powerful tool. If you've got the right mindset, then it actually creates clarity for you to actually map out everything. It's not that I never had the motivation to do it, was the clarity. And because of the mindset, it was so jumbled, I couldn't actually get things to get a clear path. But since I've worked on that mindset, it's cleared up a lot of avenues for me. And the biggest one was seeing Dad pass, and that was one of the biggest questions I'd had for my life career. I love my career being a pilot. I love living and working on the land, but I knew at some point in time that my career would have to make adjustments when we do start a family. So I started looking at avenues and stuff like that as to what I could do that would still work with my current situation, but also help with my future situation of, not being able to go outside and do the physical work that I love and enjoy doing. And also for the dreams that I had to achieve. I knew at some point in time, the normal routes, they do fill the bucket, but for me, it just wasn't quick enough. I want, that bucket to fill a lot quicker so I can actually start living those dreams and goals that I have for now, not in 50 years' time when I retire. I want to be able to get up and, do the things that I set out without having to answer or, be committed to everything else in the outsider world that I dictated as to how my day run. So having those mindset tools there, really actually gave me the clarity of how to do it and to do it the way that felt right for me.
Yeah, amazing. And when you and I spoke about this side hustle of yours and getting it off the ground, you did have other external influences at that time, really kind of planting the seed of doubt, to be honest, about whether it would be successful, can you do this, all this sort of thing. Because, you've not been in the online space before, right? So they were coming in from that angle, trying to be protective. But based on what you were learning in coaching, how did you start to tame those external voices so that they weren't holding you back and you could really focus on what you wanted?
It was probably one of the biggest tools that helped me that you had said about setting boundaries. talking to those people that had those concerns and had those doubts and say, look, I do understand, I see your point of view, but can you, respect my decisions for my life and, my journey. I do understand that you want to help out, but instead, if you can't support, then these are the boundaries I need you to set for me so I can actually flourish. Being in that, those boundaries being set, people have actually respected those boundaries for me and actually started to see in the fact of, how confident I've got back into doing this, that they've now, instead of, showing that negative side of things, they're pushing through on a positive, and giving me feedback, which is really phenomenal.
Sensational. And here's the thing with all of that then, empowering boundaries, you put those in place, they started to work. And the other thing is you were like, right, that fear doesn't have to be my fear. You made that decision to be successful, and despite you having no formal online training, online marketing training, you just went for it. You just decided, yeah, that fear's not mine. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing my multi-level marketing, and off you went. You got your side hustle up and going. And sure enough, you did. You started getting leads in, which is amazing. So, I mean, it's incredible stuff, really, in such a short span of time. And if we think about the mindset piece, and obviously you mentioned, the trauma there of your dad passing and so on, having a strong mindset doesn't mean that we're not going to have emotions at times, right? So, you had the sadness from your dad's passing, yet you had this dream of what you wanted to do and your career and your side hustle. And it doesn't mean that, with mindset work, we become like deliriously positive, because positivity isn't enough. You got to a place with coaching, and I saw this in you, where you just got to a place of belief, and you had this resilience in you that said, yeah, you know what? I get knocked out. You know what? I'm getting back up again, because my dreams mean so much to me. And that's massive. And I really saw that transformation in you. So from your perspective, what practices or strategies did you use from our coaching together that helped you to actually do that?
Definitely would be, when I had a bit of a stumble recently, I fell down a pretty bad rabbit hole, anniversary and everything like that, that it actually, things just snowballed and it just kept getting on top of me. And I sort of fell down and I fell hard. And I hit rock bottom. And that's when I sort of went, oh, okay, rightio, pick myself up, dust myself off, like Dad's always said, get back on that horse and go again. And then I sort of just broke down and went, right, my little Veronica in my head saying, okay, break these things down. Why are you feeling like this? Why is it triggering? Okay, let's, start to build back up. And I had probably let my mindset rituals that I do every morning, doing my gratitudes, taking time to visualize my day and how I wanted to see how it happened and my future, and living in those moments. So I just started going back, and I went back to my basics, and I pulled my journal out and I did my 10 gratitudes every day, and not just going, I'm grateful for the sunshine. Well, we're all grateful for the sunshine, but actually explaining why I'm grateful for the sunshine, for the warmth and the growth of, everything, animals and life and stuff like that. So breaking those things down and really feeling into that why. Why is that so important to be grateful for those things? And then going through and journaling, more so because I'm an early morning person, getting up, and I journal the day before, where I'd actually go through everything as to, what come up, how it made me feel, okay, how I handled the situation, what I could do to improve that next time round when I'm confronted with it. And I just went back to those basic tools and just kept every day doing it. And it wasn't something that happened overnight, where I got out of that rabbit hole. It took me a few weeks, but because I kept doing the practices that you had put in place for me, eventually over time, I was back to normal, and I hadn't even realised I'd stepped out of that rabbit hole, and, things were back to a normal, and I wasn't having any fears or self-doubts or feeling like a miserable person.
Amazing. I love it. And good on you for resourcing yourself, using what we'd learn in our coaching together, and go, you know what, I'm picking up the tools again. Here we go. And as you said, it was the repetition of that that actually got you out of the hole that you'd found yourself in at that point. And as we know, repetition is the mother of mastery. So we just build that muscle, we keep doing it, and before you know it, you're on your way again. So kudos to you for picking up that pen, getting that gratitude and that journaling going again. And for you in this coaching journey that we experienced together, what do you feel like was a breakthrough moment for you?
I guess really probably just feeling within myself the normal person that I've always been, that bubbly, happy-go-lucky sort of person, that's out there to enjoy every day and experience everything that life has to offer, instead of actually sitting in self-doubt and wallowing in my emotions and letting that gremlin get the better of me and, letting myself sink back into there. So that's probably the biggest breakthrough is feeling within myself so much stronger, and so much more confident and powerful.
Awesome. And I can hear that within you, even just as you're saying those words, which is wonderful to hear. And as you were moving through this program, I noticed transformation in you. You were becoming more confident, as you said, becoming more determined. You were deciding not to let others' judgment be yours. You were leveling up your relationships. You were also, of course, getting your side hustle off the ground. You were going away on the trips you wanted, and you were getting the business scaled up as well. And I also noticed a playfulness in you, like coming as we were going along, like coming to light, which was also beautiful. And I really felt in you that you genuinely were finding the joy back again in life, which was so wonderful to see. You had this fire in the belly again. So that's just my reflection. And I guess from your perspective, now you've gone through this coaching journey, how does it feel to be on the other side?
Definitely very good. I would never say I'm 100% on the other side. Life does has its challenges, and sometimes you get, more than just one bag of gremlins thrown at you. You get the whole building. So yeah, it is part of life, but it, definitely, being on the better side of it is really, really good. And it is something that, I know I need to keep working at every single day. I can't let my guard down. So yeah, definitely life nearly on the other side is pretty perfect.
That's amazing. And I love that too, because once we get into this, into personal development, it really is an ongoing process. And I love that you embrace that. Obviously, I do too, because it's a muscle we need to keep flexing and stretching and building. And my kind of mantra around that is some eat, sleep, mindset, repeat. And that's how we continue this growth journey that we're on. Let's do it. Let's keep leveling up. No need to stay in one position, right? Once we've got the tools, we'll just keep growing, yeah?
You get one goal achieved and, you don't stop there. You look for the next one. It is a mechanical habit that you need to work on every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you find yourself now just showing up in life generally?
A lot more positive, a lot more contented, and probably the biggest thing I've noticed is I'm pushing my boundaries a lot more. I'm not contented to stay in my little comfort zone. I look at the bigger picture of things. I take a step back and assess things before I react. Definitely, it's good.
Yeah. And how's that positively impacted you on the career front as well as personal life?
Are really good. So the team that I'm working with, and that they've noticed a big step up, and they really like to work with me, the positivity and the tools that I've learned here's also been able to step in and help within my business, my followers, and also the team that I'm working with, because I'm able to share what I've gone through and how these little tools have actually helped me to step up, and it has grown things, very well.
Yeah, you've got this new level of awareness now, which is amazing. You got this suite of tools and techniques and methodologies that you can use, and practices now to support you for your mindset for the rest of your life. So what do you choose to do with those tools going forward?
Practice. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
It is just something that, I go through stages where if I'm feeling a little bit down, I will, pull my diary out, and I've got a big A4 diary that's sitting beside me, and it is literally just for those tools. So I do notice some days are a little bit quieter than other days I've got a bit more. So it's just, it has become part of my daily ritual, as much as a habit of getting in and doing my mindset work as it is as making a cup of coffee. Coffee is essential in my life, so these tools have become an essential thing, a part of my life as well.
That's great to hear. I love it. Coffee and mindset, coffee and mindset.
One goes with the other.
Beautiful. And what advice would you give to others who might be considering engaging a coach?
And definitely getting off that fence. It can be a big step, and it can be a very scary, fearful step, having to get yourself out of the comfort zones that you've become accustomed to. But it is definitely, 110% worth every moment of doing life coaching. It has been the biggest change for my life, and in this period of time that I've been working with you. So definitely getting off that fence and giving it a go. Get out of your comfort zone and try new things, because you just never know. It could be something that changes life completely for you.
That's wonderful. Thank you for your reflection. And I'm so grateful to you for inviting me into your life, because it really is experiences like yours, where a woman finds herself again, and you find the fire within you to create the desires you want, and that inspires others to do the same. You've come through the trauma piece. You'll continue to work on that. You're leveling up your life. You've got your side hustle off the ground. Your relationships are improving. Boom. So on that note, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Geez, throw out the hard ones there. Fun, bubbly, and I want to say between strong and a powerhouse.
I love it. Let's go with it. Fantastic. It's so wonderful to hear. And again, such a transformation from the moment we first spoke to hearing that in you now. It's incredible. And thank you so much for sharing your experiences, Dannielle, because I know it really will help others change their lives. Maybe people who are thinking on the fence now can hear your journey and think, you know what, it's worth a go. It's worth me getting unstuck, So I wonder if there was anything else you'd like to share, because this story is about you. Anything at all?
No, it would be just to thank yourself, Veronica, for, having, the dream to actually be out there and coaching people, from my point of view that, have changed my life over this period of time of working with you. So very grateful for you being there and helping me through this journey, and not only just being my life coach, but, a friend that I've created over this period of time, that the enjoyment of you checking in once every now and then, on a weekly to fortnightly basis, where how's things, I'm in your corner, is really, really grateful, and just puts the icing on the cake, or correction, the cherry on top.
Cherry on. Oh, I will take that with gratitude. Thank you. I'm happy to be the cherry on the top of your ice cream. It was an absolute pleasure. Really, it was. The pleasure was mine to coach with you and to continue, seeing you flourish. It's just an absolute blessing. So if our audience would like to maybe check out some of what you're doing with this side hustle, how could they link up with you?
So it would be probably the best one is to jump on either my personal page, which is Dannielle Moy, or my business page, which is Dannielle Moy Rural Legacy, which is my beautiful face with my pony. So yeah, just reach out, even if it's just something to connect and say hello. I'm always open to meeting new people and getting to learn their story and their dreams and their goals. And if it's something that, what I'm doing aligns with them, then I'm here to help out.
Yeah, fantastic. And just so the audience at home, so that's Dannielle Moy, and Dannielle has a double N and a double L. Okay, when you're looking for on Facebook. All right. Well, on that note, then, please do reach out to Dannielle, see what she's got going on. You can see she's a wonderful woman and would love to have a chat with you. So, if you'd like to look at now leveling up some area of your life, whether it's in life broadly speaking and elevating your emotions and how you're feeling about life, maybe it's career, maybe it's business, combination of, please do feel free to get in touch with us. You can reach out to us at thelifecoachingco.com.au or hit us up on Facebook. You can find us at the facebook.com/The Life Coaching Co, or we're at Instagram as well. And that's simply at The Life Coaching Co. So thanks once again, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Dannielle. It's been an absolute pleasure. And until next time, master your mindset, secure your success.